what drives everything, and that's money. Ultimately, the goal of the insurance company is to pay as little money as possible to you for your injuries, and every little thing that they can do to discredit or whittle away at what we would argue you're entitled to, they're going to do. They also get paid for every minute that they spend working against you. They get to bill for that. They get to bill for every single minute that they are working to build a case against you. So they have a great motivation to find as much as they can. Not only is it going to save their clients money in a judgment, but they're going to get to bill for it.
We have 2 cases right now that the defense attorney or the insurance company hired investigators and literally set up cameras outside their homes. In one particular case, I think there was over 200 hours of footage. It didn't show much of anything, but it shows you to the links that the insurance company or the defense attorney will go to show that you're doing something that's inconsistent with your injuries. So, and again, it doesn't happen necessarily that they could hire an investigator immediately after a crash. It could be, day number 2, hey, the insurance company calls their investigator, go follow this person, let's see what they're doing, see, they've reported injuries, let's see if they're really injured. So you have to be very, very careful. Insurance companies that often will use surveillance to their advantage, and it's very troubling to your client because someone's watching you and doesn't believe you, but you just got to be very, very careful that you're not doing anything inconsistent with what you're complaining of. I've been doing this for 23 years, but I did the first part of my career, I was that defense lawyer that worked for the insurance company. And what I would often do, I would take, let's say, July 4th, I knew a holiday weekend's coming up. That's when people are active. Memorial Day or Labor Day. I know people are doing things, they're out and about. I would hire an investigator and have that investigator go track this person who had sued my client and see what they're doing. And oftentimes I would find them doing all kinds of things that they shouldn't be doing, that undermine their case.
That they said they couldn't.
Right. And then I would take that footage with me. I would go to a deposition. I would eventually depose this particular client. And I would ask them, hey, how are you doing, around 4th of July? And they'll tell me, oh, I was still having pain. I said, were you doing anything? I already know what they were doing because I have the video footage. So, that was a tactic that I often would use, and it would eventually destroy their case. But you had to be mindful that as soon as you have that crash, from that day forward till you resolve your case, you could be videoed.
For example, we have one client who lives alone, has lived alone for a long time, is very, very independent, used to be a great outdoorsman and sportsman, but has suffered catastrophic injuries. And the insurance company the defense was able to capture video of him dragging an ice chest. Well, to most of us, that looks like, oh, he's not that hurt, right? What they don't understand, what that image doesn't capture, is the way he had to really manipulate himself to be able to drag that ice chest. The fact that he had nobody else to help him drag the ice chest, so he had to do it.
And it was empty.
And the fact that the ice chest was empty. So again, a picture can say 1,000 words, but they might not be the right words.
And what we did in that particular case, we brought that same ice chest and we had him demonstrate to the court what he was doing, and it was nothing. The surveillance was so ineffective in that case, the defense attorney didn't even look at it. So I used it to our advantage and turned it around on them. It's that old saying, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. From the insurance company's standpoint, if you're really hurt, you should be bedridden. But on the flip side, if you're bedridden, you're exaggerating your complaints. So, and if you're working, you're really not hurt. So you're not going to win with the insurance company. So you just don't want to give them any extra,
give them ammunition
that they can use against you down the road.